Hello, Montana. Hello. Good to see you. Changed my clothes for once. It's getting a bit warmer. And also, I'm new. I'm in a new location. What's going on? Well, I moved. I got a new job. And I'm still doing this. Can you believe that? Isn't that a good thing? Anyways, you won't see so much of me, but some of it anyways. What do I want to do? I want to show you how to do data import, export, and how to access external data. That's what it says that I'm going to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. So we need to, if we're going to import, if we're going to get data from somewhere else, we need to have data from somewhere else. We have lots of data. Your assignment's got data. There's a little sample data set on the tutorial. It's here. Tutorial package 7, data import, export, and accessing external data. If I go into that zip file, here's the data right here. If I show you what it looks like in Excel, that's what it looks like there. The data's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Hey, look at that. CABG, urgency code, waiting list. This is the data for your sample database. So, heck, save you a lot of data entry. Save you some data entry. Get that data from somewhere else. We got to get that data. So, how do we go about doing that? Let's look. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to have access. Where is access? Do we have access to virtual desktop? No, we did not start. Let's try it again. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Or maybe it's going to work this time. Sign in. Sign in. Sign in ski. It's looking good. Looking good. Looking darn good. No, oh, maybe the blue screen. We're going to see the blue screen of joy. Yes. Service are authorized clients only. Okay, so we're getting into the database. I could show you in the other one. But anyways, let's look at the tutorial because I don't actually know what the tutorial says. Alt 0. Let's move the tutorial over to this screen. There we go. Tutorial. So a couple different ways to get the data in. You can import it, or you can copy and paste it. And what's good about copy and paste is you just have the columns in the right place. It'll whack it right in there. There's a bit of error checking that happens along the way, but it's good. Or you can do the direct import. You could actually import it using the import function. Things are a bit. It's a bit cleaner that way. But when you import it, the direct import method, you have to have the columns in exactly the same row. They have to be named the same, and they have to be in the same order. They have to be the same data type. You have to inspect your data source and your target to figure it out. So we're going to take that data and import it into our waiting list. So we go back to yes. So we have to get our data to the server, to wherever. So if you're working with the data at your own home, in your own computer, you got a PC, you're lucky, you can get the data there. But for us, we've got to go to OneDrive. So let's see if we've got OneDrive happening. We do. Hot darn, OneDrive. So then the other thing is I have to get that data to OneDrive. So that's easy enough. I'm going to go to OneDrive. OneDrive.live.com back when, and I gotta upload that data. Logging in, security, signing in, minimize my points with Microsoft Rewards extension, switch to Australia. Microsoft is so good at selling things. Look, they're just trying to sell me something right there. They say, it's for you, we're doing it. But no, they're trying to track you. Your data is worth something to them, and they want to sell it to you. Let's see. Sign in. Come on. Really? You don't remember who I am? No, that's not the right password. D.E. Wiltshire at ltu.edu.au. Next. I think you would be students. Blah, 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 blah. Password. Primary password. Shouldn't ask me that anymore anyways, but we'll see. Going to OneDrive. There's actually a much quicker way for me to go to OneDrive. I guess what way I know. We'll just upload the file. Open Explorer window over here. We want to go and take that Excel spreadsheet and drag it in there. It's in the package. Let's extract the package and go into the package and drag that file in here. Cool. And I just drag, and it should end up somewhere in there. Temp? No. There we go. Work with sample data version 2.xlsx. Okay, great. So now we can go to our VMware workbook sample data version 2. There we go. And we can open it up in there. So yeah, you have to open it up in there. Well, you don't have to. So we want to import that data into Access, into our Access database. So I think that's under, where is that information? I say hello to my neighbor, as you should these days, because the neighbors are, now where is it? Tutorial ongoing? I think that's where it is. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, we should be at the other tutorial 2, because that's where we are today. You can tell it's been a while since I've done this thing. Tutorial 2 waiting list. The latest one is there, 4:23 p.m. I'm going to rename that. I'm going to copy it as you do. Control C, Control V. VM is just a little slow today. Copy, paste. I'm going to rename it. Today, it's almost the 4th of September. Oh my goodness. 4th of September. And so we're trying to get that information into the patient waiting list. So we've got half of that on that screen, half of that on that screen. We'll go look at the patient waiting list. So what does the patient waiting list look like? It's got a waiting list ID, which we don't actually have in this table because waiting list ID is an internal thing for the database. We've got a patient UR number. You actually can't even import that because that's an auto number field. So we can't even import that. Patient UR, urgency code, waiting list, type, waiting list, status, date active. So that's the order of the columns. What do we got here? We've got waiting list code, urgency code, waiting list status. And so waiting list status is actually a true false value, even though it's got a little box there. The problem with this column here is that patient details has a patient ID. So that's, even though it says that patient UR is there, it's actually a code. The code is actually stored there. Yeah. Well, let's just see what happens. So I actually might do something different here. The cut and paste thing actually works better in some places. So let's just get it in the right order. So we want to start off with waiting list code, which is also known as waiting list type. We want that to be first. We want the urgency code to be second. We want waiting list status to be third. Patient UR, and then and patient age is actually in the patient details table. It would be silly to put it in here because it's already there, so we don't even need that at all. So we can get rid of that entirely. And let's just copy that. Control C or copy, and then I go to the last record, and you say paste, append. And that actually worked. You see how it put a where there was a true there, it put a tick mark. It says they're not valid on the waiting list. So it actually worked, and it even filled in the waiting list ID for you there. So that was actually the good way to do that, because the thing is because we had okay, so we did that. Let's just undo home file. Undo. Where's undo? Can't undo. Okay, so we're gonna delete those records and then get them out of there. So the other way to do it, so that's with paste. That works okay. It's really good because it treated it like we typed that patient UR number in. But in fact, what's actually stored in that, let's go into the design of that and I'll show you what's actually stored. So if we click on the patient ID and we go to let's just close that little window. If we go to lookup of patient ID, it actually hides the first column. It's the lookup. It's hidden, and if we make that but it's bound. The patient ID is what's actually stored. The bound column is the first column, which is patient ID. And so if we made that first column, let's say 1 centimeter big, and then we saved that, we went into the design of that. Now you see what's actually stored. What's actually stored in the patient UR field is the ID. So even though we pasted in all those codes, it just went and looked them up for us. So we even though we pasted it in, so now we've traded back to 0. We hide that data. It's smart enough to know that we don't want to see it even in the drop down. We don't want to see it in the drop down or in the field, and it hides it in the field. It's hiding that number for us. The problem with that is when we try to do a direct import. So I'll show you what a direct import is. So we've got to make the fields the same name. So the best way to do that is to copy and paste them. So I'm going to copy and paste waiting list. Patient ID to patient ID. I'm going to copy and paste urgency code. I'm going to copy and paste waiting list type. I guess that's the waiting list code. And waiting list status. Oh, I didn't realize the date active was missing. Oh, well, anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's now they've all. Oh, we haven't changed the. We didn't do that one. Huh. Okay, so now we've got the right names. We're going to save that. We're going to go back to the. We're going to go back to the design of that. We're going to go to external data. We're going to say new data source. We're going to. Oh no, sorry. I think from file, from Excel file. We're going to get the data from the OneDrive folder. Workbook sample data version 2. That's right. Oh, it's in use, so we've got to close it first, because God forbid 2 people try to use the same. We're going to import the source data. We're into append the records, copy the records to the table. We're going to append it to the patient waiting list, and press OK. Now, hopefully, save the changes and close the table. Yes, I want to save the changes. Great. Can use your column to set as field names. Does the first row contain column headings? Yes, the first row contains column headings. Next, and finish. And you don't want to save the steps because that's only if you do it regularly. And you say OK. And did that. So now we go to the patient waiting list, and what do we get? Yeah, see, that didn't work at all because the fields were in the wrong order. Well, it got waiting list status, okay. Oh, it got waiting list type. It got urgency code. It didn't get any of the patient UR numbers because we had the data. It expects patient ID. If we had the proper patient ID, then we could do that there. So at this point in time, we could probably just go back to the workbook sample database, copy those darn patient IDs, and paste them in. No, it's too long. Let's try doing it this way. Just paste those in there. So that did work. That was kind of quick and dirty. It did actually fix the problem. So there's two ways to get the data in. You can either import the data or you can copy and paste it in. I think that's all I'm supposed to be talking about. Columns named the same order, blah, blah, blah. Import into existing table. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's it. My goodness. How good was that? We are done. That might help you a little bit for your assignment. Save you a whole bunch of data entry. And